All right, guys, welcome to another stream. If you, excuse me, if you watched the last live stream, you may have heard me say that we were going to do the Nürburgring. I did a test race there and did not really, wasn't really happy with how things were going. I've decided to just move on to Maggiore, which is probably, this is probably my favorite fictional circuit that is in Gran Turismo 7. Has kind of taken, has kind of replaced Grand Valley for me because, in my opinion, I feel like they ruined Grand Valley. I like the old, realistic style circuit that it was before, and what they turned it into is not that. This one is now my new favorite. So we're all set up here. I'm going to do 50 minutes on this one because during the test race, actually, what I'm trying to do is, if you remember last week at Red Bull Ring, some of the AI cars pit a second time with like a couple laps to go in the race, and I'm trying to avoid that. That was on a 60-minute race, so I've shortened it to 50 minutes, and I'm hoping that that prevents them from doing another pit stop. Everything else is basically the same. I haven't changed anything else. We're just going to run cloudy weather in the afternoon with 2 times time speed rate, and that should get us. It'll be getting kind of dark by the time we're finished. And here is the lineup for today. Like I said, every week I go through every single car and I manually qualify them myself. And this is the order that they are in. And again, I'm at the back, but I'm not purposely putting myself there. I am actually qualifying my car and trying to qualify it better than last. But because of all the weight ballast that I have to try and make the racing a little bit better for me, it just makes my car slow as far as, in comparison to the other cars when a human is driving. So I always end up at the back, unfortunately. I mean, unfortunately and fortunately, because it makes it kind of a good challenge for me, I guess you could say. So we're going to go ahead and get started. Like I said, 50-minute race. Should be a pit stop somewhere around the middle. And let's see how this goes. I'm going to have to get used to this car again because I was playing last night, but I was using a different car, so... Now there are a couple spots on this track where the AI cars are pretty slow, so I'm going to gain a lot of time on them. One of the spots is at the top of these corners here. Coming out of this left-hander, they're pretty slow. You can see I caught up some time there. So I'm just going to take it easy, just do like an 8/10 pace, and we'll see how it goes. My car has a lot of understeer through here. Another thing that I don't like on this track that the AI cars do. When they come out of this last corner right here, they swing left. See how they go left towards the pit wall, and then they come back? It's very weird to me. And they do it every single lap. Also, they go kind of narrow into this corner right here. I prefer to take a wider line. Like the AI cars understeer a lot in that tight right-hander. See, I like to take a wider line right here, and the AI cars go very narrow. I think that's one of the things that they need to work on with the AI, with the Sophy AI, is that their racing line is not really that great. Yeah, see how slow the Corvette was through there? That's like the one slow spot for them on this track. But yeah, they need to work on the racing lines for the AI cars, because just they have a weird Corvette coming back inside. They sent it down in there. They have weird quirky things that they do that are kind of off-putting and are not very realistic. Like right there, how they swing left. Hey now. I wish the rumble strip on the outside of that corner was a bit further down. Because where you swing out wide coming out of that corner is before the rumble strip. And they're brave going side by side through there. Jag snuck through there too. So like right here, the rumble strip. So you get on the grass a little bit. The rumble strip needs to be further down. Accidentally shifted down into third there, didn't need to. Now, I don't know if you remember during the last race, but when I make my pit stop, I actually slow down for the pit road speed, and I also take more fuel than necessary so that I'm not gaining time during my pit stop. And we're going to do that here too. Yeah, see, they are so slow through there. Understeer. Probably a little bit of aero wash right there. If you're tucked up underneath the car, it takes the air off the front. Get understeer. I don't like how they go left like that. It's very weird. Ooh, Aston sent it up the inside. Oop, a little bit of contact. Might be able to get under him right here. Maybe. No, not enough power. Still in there. I get him right here. If they have an awkward line or take a weird path going into the corner, it just, if there are multiple corners in a row like that, they tend to mess up. Try right here, maybe. Oh, didn't realize he was going back in there. Gonna make him wash out wide though, and see ya. Yeah, you gotta watch your mirrors and watch the radar because they really like to send it in there. We'll probably pit somewhere around 25 minutes in. Right at the halfway mark. Ooh, a little bit oversteer. Change up that brake balance a little bit because it's a little free on entry. in that corner you could use second or third gear. The car has enough torque that third gear doesn't really bog it down that much. There's not really any reason for them to do that. I don't know why they do that. Ooh, little bump. Yeah, so not only do they go really slow through there, but they kind of wash out a little wide. I mean, if they kept up the pace, then going wide is fine, because that's kind of the normal line through there, but because they slow down so much, it just makes it really awkward for the player. Probably at the end of the next lap is when we'll pit. So see, the normal line through here would be to go wide like this and just touch this rumble strip on the outside, but AI cars don't really follow that line. Yeah, we'll pit next lap. See if we can catch these guys first. I would say overall this track is probably not that great for Sophy AI. I think the one track in the game that's really good for Sophy is Suzuka Circuit. They don't have a lot of weaknesses there. And almost all the other tracks, there is a weakness somewhere. Like at this track, it's this corner right here. I gained so much time there. And through there. Anywhere where I can gain a lot of time like that, for me, is a weak spot for them. Alright, let's see. So as far as the fuel goes here, I'm going to take more than I need to. So I probably only need to go about halfway in the next section right there. So like right there's probably good, but I'm going to go to there. Cold tires. So once all the AI cars make their pit stop, we'll see how this shakes out. I should be round about where I was before I pitted. Oh, that was a little weird moment right there. little too hot in there. Still want to come around in the back. Let's try that. Okay, so the car I was behind just came out of pit road. So when I pitted, I was behind the red black Lexus, and the red black Lexus is now right behind me. So I didn't really, there might have been a little bit of time gained, but might have just been the undercut effect because I pit before the Lexus and had pressure tires. I was able to go a little bit faster, and that's what put me ahead. So I did gain a little bit of time still, but it's not a lot. Say the line through there is a little awkward. It's hard to get it just right. Jags coming in. We've got Mustangs on pit road. Ooh, went in a little deep there. Unfortunately, the Mustangs have terrible fuel mileage, so they always have to take more fuel, and it costs them a lot of time on their pit stop. Forgot the downshift a second. That corner is really hard to get right. A little wide right there. Okay, this Jag right here in front of me, I think he was in like second or third place. So I've made up a lot of ground. Pretty sure these two cars ahead of me have not pit yet. I think at least one of them will come in this lap. Maybe the Corvette. Yep. Kind of a dive bomb. I went for it. I feel like the Mercedes get really good fuel mileage here. So they're probably going to make up a lot of ground on their pit stops. Too hot into there. More Astons on the pit road. I think the Mercedes get the best fuel mileage, and then the Astons are probably next, and then the Jags. And that glare from the sun is really bright. All the Mercedes are hitting pit road. Now the question is, will they come out ahead or behind? Probably behind. Yep. So it's looking like this one's probably going to be a win for me. Remember, that car that's in first place right now does not count. If you haven't watched any of my the previous races, basically the car that's in first place does not count. That's why its name is D-Count. It's got more power than the rest of us. It's supposed to be faster, although I seem to have run the fastest lap so far. But what that does is it reduces the effects of the rubber banding in the game. So like technically I'm in first right now because the car that's in first doesn't count. And it prevents the cars behind me from going artificially fast to try and catch up. If you don't know what the rubber banding effect is, basically if you are behind the AI cars, they will purposely slow down so that you can catch up. And then when you get ahead of them, like if you get into first place, they will artificially speed up to try to catch up to you, to make the race seem a lot closer than it is. But if you put a car in first place that is faster than everybody, even if I get into first place, which is where I'm at right now, I'm still able to pull away from the cars behind me because the game thinks that I'm not in first place. It's just one of the many things that you have to do with this game. If you want AI that's, you know, somewhat competitive, I guess, for you, you have to do certain things to make them be that way. But unfortunately, it looks like this track is just not great for Sophy AI, so you know, it's nice to get a win, and wins are cool, but I much prefer battling in the middle of the pack. I much prefer battling in the middle of the pack and trying to really fight my way forward. So this one was a little too easy. Okay, so see that car that's in first place that doesn't count? They did run a lap faster than me. Which they should be doing every lap, but yeah, so even on this one, like, because the Sophy AI is so slow at this track that even after I purposely slowed down for pit road and took more fuel than I needed to, we still managed to basically blow them away. Which to me is kind of boring, but it is what it is. Okay, this will probably be the last lap. Yep, last lap. I'm hoping the next race, so the next race is actually going to be at Spa. So I'm hoping that one goes a little bit better. Alright, so we got us a win by almost 8.5 seconds. Not the way I want to win, but it is what it is here, I guess. You know, trying to find ways to prevent the AI cars from losing so much time to you during the pit stop. Like I said, that's why I slow down for pit road. And I also take more fuel than necessary. Now, that's one of the things that I'm really looking forward to on my next series that I'm going to do, because right now I'm in a Gr.4 car and these are all Gr.4 cars, so trying to slow myself down enough with ballast and everything else to make it even with the other cars is kind of the frustrating part. That's one of those things that you really shouldn't have to do. You know, I would love to be able to fire up this game and have an even race without having to penalize myself with ballast and slowing down for pit road and taking more fuel than necessary and all this other stuff. But what's good about the next series that I'm going to do is it's going to be a GT4 series, and I'm going to be running against GR4 class cars, GT4 class cars, but I'm going to be using a quote unquote road car, and even if I make my horsepower and weight roughly the same as the other cars without adding any extra ballast to slow myself down, the racing is still pretty good because it's a road car versus race cars. So these are the cars from that series. So I'm going to use the Z, which is a road car. And then obviously I'm going to use GR4 class cars, Mustang, Ferrari, BMWs, Aston, the Lamborghinis. I'm still kind of building the field for that, so I don't have it fully fleshed out yet. But that one should be interesting. And this car, I've used this car a lot in the past. As you can see, it has 3,300 miles on it. Let's get somewhere so it stops revving. There we go. And I've always fought with understeer and oversteer and everything else in the past, but I have a good tune on it now. Let me show that to you guys. So you could probably either pause it or just screenshot these so you can use them for yourself. But the ECU adjustment and the ballast are to get me in line with the other GR4 cars. But everything else, I have the transmission set up. It's kind of weird, but I have it set up so that it basically only uses 6 gears, like the real ZGT4. So gears 7, 8, 9 you just wouldn't use. So these are all the other parts that are on it. Not much to it. So on some tracks, it has a little bit of an issue with the rear end wanting to kick out under braking. Like if you're braking hard into a corner and turning at the same time and trying to maybe like trail brake a little bit, the rear end likes to kick out a little. I haven't figured out how to fix that. I'm sure it's probably because I'm running a lot of camber in the back. But I have a lot of camber on this car because I'm trying to run it the ride height as low as possible. I mean, it still has some that I can go. Like I can run it lower, and I probably will go down a little bit. But I'm running this much camber because I want to run it low, but also one of the realistic things about GT7 that I like is that if you lower a car too much and it doesn't have a lot of camber and the tire is actually touching the fender in the game, it actually affects the way the car handles. And it can even, if the car is really slammed and the tires are really digging into the fenders, it can even prevent you from steering into a corner because your tires are just getting hung up on the fenders. So in order to run this car lower, I run a lot of camber so that the tires don't touch the fenders. But also the way that I add camber to the cars is that I'll go and I'll do a lap at a track, and then I'll go into the replay afterwards, and when the car is loaded up in a corner, when I'm turning through a corner and it's all loaded up to one side or the other, I will do the walk around feature in replays and get down real close to the ground and just look at the tire. You know, the contact patch of the tire. Is it, while it's under load, is it flat with the ground? Is it using all of the contact patch? And even though 3.5 degrees on this car seems like a lot, when it's under load in the corners, the tire contact patch is flat with the ground. So it's using all of the tire in the corner. At least the outside tires, obviously. So, but yeah, like I said, I've used it a lot. I've had a lot of handling issues with it in the past, but this tune right here, for me, is the best this car has ever been. So, so I definitely recommend it. You can try it for yourself. See how it works out for you. But this is the car that I'm going to use in the next series. As soon as we're done with the V8 series, I'm going to switch over to just a GT4 series. We're probably going to do about 6 rounds maybe. And we'll see how it goes. Format's probably going to be about the same, roughly 50 minutes to an hour for the races. And manual qualifying and everything else. So, but that's going to do it for today. Next week we are going to Spa-Francorchamps, like I said, and hopefully the racing will be a little bit better there. I thought the racing would be good here at Maggiore, but unfortunately it was not. I think that win was a little too easy, and that's not what I prefer. So we'll see you guys next week. Take it easy.